So let's imagine that we're starting with like a relatively, like, I'm gonna drop everything and I'm just gonna go into like larger, heavier sound. Okay, I'm gonna get a little heavier still, and what we're gonna notice is that if I go to like a really heavy, large sound, um, and I'm intentionally trying to sound masculine, there's some things happening that aren't just a result of sounding heavier and larger. The pronunciation, how I pronounce words, is altering based on uh, my sort of preconceived idea of what masculine pronunciation is. Now, when I grew up, I probably didn't even sound this like dude, right? But over time, you sort of develop like a sense of what the specific markers are of masculine and feminine speech. And we can kind of typify this as being kind of a more dull pronunciation versus a more sharp pronunciation. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scale small, but I'm going to maintain a dull pronunciation. Hello, 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 hello.
Hello. Alright, so if I'm really small and light, but I'm kind of still focusing on being really dull with my pronunciation, you're gonna hear that this sounds like kind of boyish. Kind of like middle school boy, or maybe like Ash Ketchum, or something like that, right? Like, oh, good job, Pikachu, we really did it. That kind of really boyish kind of quality is a dull pronunciation in a smaller, lighter kind of sound. So from here,
Sorry.
from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change just the pronunciation. Hello, 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 hello. All right, so I'm starting really light and really small, but intentionally doing a very dull pronunciation. Hello, hello, hello. Now, hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hello, 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 hello. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this adjustment in pronunciation is what we think of as being dull initially. This initial sound is a relatively dull pronunciation. And then as I shifted from low to low, hello, 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 the pronunciation helps the sound a little bit more typical. So we can retain a sharper pronunciation at a small and light sound, or it can get slightly larger and slightly larger still, and maybe slightly larger still, but still retain this sort of sharper pronunciation. And in addition to the sharp pronunciation, also just like a lot of other feminine personality features. So we don't need to necessarily get super, super, super small, so long as we're also keeping in mind how the pronunciation can strongly impact our perception of the speaker's gender.